Hi, and welcome to this week's the IBD Ostomy Support Show. Um, I'm Steffi from Colitis to Ostomy, and this week we are covering what do you do to survive the Christmas season. This week I've done not much. Last week I was very poorly. I had to go to the doctors a few times. I was supposed to have gone to the doctors again this week for numerous appointments, but and they had to be rearranged for unforeseen circumstances to next week. I have more hospital appointments tomorrow, and then the flu jab tomorrow. Fun. I've done paper mache with Larry Beth. We've never
Oh,
done paper mache
wow.
before,
Wicked.
so we were making an Aborigine bowl out of her toucan box. Um, what else? Oh, I had a funeral with my mum. It was her auntie, so I saw some of my aunties. What did I do on Tuesday? I feel like I did something on Tuesday. Rachel, what did I do on Tuesday?
I can't remember. You went to a funeral. Was that
Yeah, and
Tuesday?
then I did something Tuesday. Oh, I had my birthday brief. That was it. Yeah. So I went and tried to get some closure on Jacob's birth, and I'm not sure I've got it, but hey ho, we'll see. These things aren't just overnight, are they? So that was my week. I'll pass you over to Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, walking two stomas. I'm currently in Birmingham. I came on Monday. I got the train, but there's no problems, and the amazing assistants. I actually asked for assistance at the desk, and they were brilliant. So that helped me on the train, and so that was a bit easy because I was really anxious about coming up. I'm still not myself. I'm still struggling. I think I'm struggling a bit mentally at the moment as well, and just sort of, I don't know. I've hit a fatigue wall, so I'm every time I eat, I'm getting a lot of pain. So that's kind of a bit frustrating. But apart from that, I'm looking forward. We're going out to Digbeth tomorrow. Steve's taking me out.
Ooh.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm wearing the red dress that Steffi wore in Cardiff. We're going to wear that with
Ooh,
my
very
boots.
nice.
And yeah, so that'd be nice. And then on Saturday, driving to play Wales. And I've just been doing oh yeah, also me and my dentist got like surprisingly part of the Stoma Wise calendar. So I was really
December.
that's it. Steve said it would get paid, but I never even thought it would. I just didn't have a clue. I just thought I'll just put it in and see. So the dentist is over the moon. He's going to like probably give one day all his patients or have it in the waiting room.
How's he pleased, is he?
Oh, he's yeah, he's really really pleased. He's really happy. So that's good because he's just had more surgery. And then a few other mini projects I've been doing, and I just need to get like a list of what I need to do for my blog really, and just get a bit more organized. But just having a break. I've not been right since the hospital visit, so I'm just slowly just building myself up again. And but it's nice being up here, and it's hard being away, but I do like Birmingham. I went into the shopping centre today, and it's just, yeah, it's brilliant. So I'll pass it to Steve.
Hello. Hi, I'm Steve, aka hashtag Baghdaddy. My week, had the kids last weekend. Obviously, Rachel come down Monday.
I'm in the bedroom, by
So,
the way. He's in the living room.
yeah. Been eating
I
all
can
sorts
see
of strange,
Steve on the back
strange.
on the wall.
Yeah, I
Is that
know.
me?
Well, when Natalie comes on, I'm going to say, look, it's Steve.
Yeah, I've been
Sorry,
representing
Steve.
all the Vanilla Bliss boys. Don't worry, I'm not. I haven't turned. It's my week. I've been working. Doctors a couple of times, had my bloods. Not a lot more, really. Been coming home, been having weird and wonderful food cooked by Rachel. I give her a hard time over her food she cooked the other day, and it was absolutely delicious. She was quite pleased that I polished her laugh.
It was chicken, pesto, and tomato. It's Steffi's at
Pesto,
Oh, when you didn't know
shopping
what
for food.
pesto was,
I've
Steve.
never, I'd heard of it, but
You didn't know what pesto was. I just
I'd never
remember getting
tried
that on a phone call for 5 minutes.
and mozzarella as well. Yeah, it's really delicious as well. It was really nice.
Steve,
So
have you
yeah,
ever had shop bought pizza? You know, like pizzas you buy from like Tesco's or whatever you stick in the oven.
Of course
Yeah.
he has.
That's mozzarella.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then. Yes, I have then.
When
But
we
no, it's
walked
really
around the
nice.
shops, he was just saying that it's slimy cheese. I went, it's really tasty. It's
It is, it's really nice.
No, it's good. It's been nice. See my dad. He's doing well. Pretty much not much more than that, to be fair. Just sort of work and home and chilling. And that's pretty much my week, to be fair. Hasn't been a lot going on. A couple of exciting emails that I don't really want to talk about right now. But things are happening in the pipeline. And that's it, really.
Amazing.
I'll keep you informed as and when things start changing. And that's me.
So you're like me, aren't you, Steve? You've just had one Christmas under your belt with your stoma. Or have you had two?
September 2015. So
Right, so you're 6 months longer than me, so you've had two.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you had the same. We were nearly the same week, weren't we, Steve? Because I had my urostomy in 2015. August.
Yeah, September.
That was August.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be my third year then, won't it?
Did you? How did you?
No,
Sorry, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
I'm really blooming tired. I apologise. How did you find your first Christmas?
Me, it was brilliant. Actually, being able to eat food that I couldn't eat before, that I would always struggle with, like the vegetables and stuff. Obviously, I was with my ex then, so things were slightly strained, but feeling physically a lot better than I had been for the previous 2 years. So things was a lot better in that respect.
I was at work.
And was you at work?
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel? Sorry.
All right.
I find it really hard to answer because when I had my ileostomy like 5.5 years ago, I can't remember the first few Christmases because of all the medication I was on, and I just blocked it out. But I remember it. One Christmas, my mum before the show, she struggled with accepting the stomas, and we had a few words, and didn't quite like them being out, sort of thing. But mum's got over it, and the show's really helped her. But because I don't really work, I don't really do Christmas parties, like going to Christmas parties and things like that. And so I can't really answer. I can only think of like when we went to the ball and things like that. And it's something that I would like to do, but when you don't work and you don't really tend to go for like proper Christmas parties, or like Christmas balls or things like that. So you kind of miss out a little bit. But yeah, no, I can't really remember what it was like, what the first few Christmases. But I know as a double bagger, it was a lot easier not having my suprapubic catheter, and I just, again with the food, food, I could eat what I wanted. I had problems before, and things like that. But I think it's different for every person. It depends whether it's your first Christmas. It depends if it's however Christmas is. It's just kind of not overindulging. I think if one year I ate too much rich stuff and it really did affect me. And I think it's like nuts, there's lots of nuts around. So easy to just grab nuts, and when it's all going around, sometimes I have to really think, right, okay, are you hungry? Do you need it? Because it'll cause problems after. You
always tend to eat more at Christmas as well, don't you?
Yeah.
There's a lot more trimmings.
Definitely an indulgent season, isn't it?
It is.
See, I've only been to one Christmas party when I was 18, and it was a load of middle-aged ladies that just got wasted, and it was horrible. And every year that I could have gone with the company I'm currently with, it was always on when we were like, someone was always working nights, and if it wasn't me, it was Matthew. And as much as I liked my colleagues, Matthew was my best friend, so I didn't want to not be without Matthew. And then last year, when I could have gone, and ordered everything. I was in hospital with a blockage. I was like,
Oh no.
great. And I was due to go to work as well that night. And I was like, I can't. I'm in hospital. I can't do anything. And it was all because Jacob was laid on my stoma, and it was the very first time I got a blockage during pregnancy. That was fun. But and I've never. So I don't know what it's like to have a Christmas party with a stoma.
We used to have loads and loads of Christmas parties in previous workplaces. Now, the place I'm in at the moment, it's massive. You know, there's like it's probably 6 or 7 warehouses off the one. You know, it's like thousands of people, and there's no Christmas parties as such. It's always normally a piss up with the lads. You know, it'd be a group of lads that get along, and they'll go to a pub and then a club, and it's not like the party environment. You know, everyone sort of branches off into their little groups.
Isn't it really offices that have office?
It is really, isn't it?
Parties. It's offices.
I know Louise has Christmas parties, doesn't she? I know she's got one coming up with her best friend, and I know that
it's to do with her best friend, isn't it, and her company.
Yeah, and I think when I worked in a hospital, we had Christmas parties. But if I'm honest, you know, a lot of issues for me is more to do with my anxiety than the stomas. You know, I think it's like sometimes when I first got my stomas and I was with an ex, with my the long-term relationship I had, and I was with him, and I used to sometimes like sometimes I would get out of going meetups or going out of party or going to clubs, because actually it wasn't to do with being in pain. It was actually because I didn't want to go, and I had a lot of anxiety around going out. And sometimes it's actually being honest with yourself, like, am I worried about the stoma, or am I in pain, or is it actually because I don't want to face being in a group of people? And for me, regularly I have to, sometimes when I want to not go out places, I have to sort of check my motive as to why I don't want to go. Is it because I'm in pain, or is it because I'm scared to see people, and I'm anxious? And I think that's really important. The Christmas parties, a lot of it is worried about how you're going to be, and we can't. Not everybody can use stoma as an excuse, but ill health is a good way to get out of things. And for me, I can only talk about me, but for me, I try hard not to do that, because it got me into a dark place. Like, back then, I blamed it on everything. You know, go make me a cup of tea, I'm in pain. Go do that, I'm in pain. And I try really hard not to do that, because I don't want to go into that mindset again.
Do you, either of you, did you struggle with food over Christmas?
Sorry?
Do either of you struggle with food over Christmas?
Like what Rachel said, really,
because everyone like whinges about nuts except me.
Rich stuff, really, and eating more than you used to. You know, like, especially if you have an active stoma anyway. You know, you're forever bleeding backwards and forwards to the loo, emptying, and like for instance, going out, it's an issue as to what do I wear, what do I wear over my bag? Do I wear a stiff belt, or do I wear a stretchy belt? You know, what if I have a leak? It's all sort of governs as to, you know, what you're going to be eating, what you're going to be drinking. I tend to steer clear from the lager. I'll have a few lagers and then try and go on spirits, because they just balloon with gas.
I found that I was fine having like cabbage. I had braised red cabbage. I had Brussels sprouts with bacon, and I think I called it a very piggy Christmas, because we have ham at Christmas, me and Steve. But when I was with my parents, we had, I can't remember if it was New Year or whatever, because I used to work both of them. But we were around at my parents for a meal before I went to work, and my dad always makes what we call prawns in pink sauce. It's a much nicer version of Marie Rose or whatever seafood sauce, because that's rank. We put this on like burgers and all sorts.
We used to do that, like prawn cocktail.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I think it's like lemon juice, tomato sauce, salad cream or something, and it's lush. I love it.
Yeah.
And I can't eat it now because I was on a night shift and literally wanted to be sick every time I went to the toilet because of the prawns. So I learned very quickly I can't have seafood because it's that
just doesn't,
becomes too much for me. Yeah.
right.
The smell and the frequency, it's just like, but everything else was
So
fine.
it's
I
not
mean,
just the psychological. It's not just like it's actually affects your gut.
yeah. I mean, I only eat prawns at Christmas, and I don't think it helped. I was pregnant and I was in my first 3 months, so and everything's worse for the first 3 months. But no, I don't even want to touch them this year. I can't. I mean, with New Year we're going down to Cornwall, so like when we went to Cornwall in August, I had like this huge bag full of like extra stoma stuff, and we were only there like 3 days, something like that, 4 days. Woo, Natalie!
Hi, Nat.
Natalie, do you want to tell us about your week?
Yeah. I went on a cheeky cider run.
Ooh. Blatant advertising there, blatant.
We need a kickback.
Right, my week has been busy. I finished my first uni assignment. Woohoo! I was really pleased with that. Sent that in yesterday. It wasn't due till today, and I didn't have any extensions on it, so I was really pleased. Been up visiting. I haven't texted him to tell him I'm back, but yeah, I'm home. What else have I been doing? Oh, I had the hospital. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm starting Stelara. I've been on Cimzia biologics medication. I was on it before I had my ileostomy, and it was really helping my arthritis at the time. It obviously didn't really do anything for my Crohn's, and I ended up with the ileostomy anyway. But they put me back on it since I've been back in Derby, and I'm in a major flare of my arthritis. It's clearly not working. So I'm being moved to Stelara. So they did all their checks and whatnot that they have to do yesterday, and hopefully within 4 to 6 weeks I'll be starting that.
Isn't Steve on that as well?
Yeah, he's been on that as well. So.
How's he getting on with it?
Well, he's only had one. He had an infusion because he went through his Crohn's doctor to get on it. Crohn's patients apparently do better with an infusion first, and then you started on the injections. Whereas because I'm going through the rheumatology side of it, I'm doing injections, but I'll do an injection at week 0, an injection at week 4, and then it's every 8 weeks. So that's really interesting. Well, it's different for arthritis, and it makes sense. But that's quite interesting. Apparently, it gets into your system better for Crohn. I mean, at the minute my Crohn's is pretty good, so I can see Steve on you behind your head. I know. That's why I was waiting for you to come on so you can see Steve. But yeah, because it's my arthritis, it's more the problem, and it's going through my rheumatology. They're sort of applying for the funding and everything for it. I'm just going straight onto the injections, so which I'm quite happy about because, like I say, my Crohn's is quite quiet. So
that's fingers crossed.
So hopefully it will help both as well. Whereas the Cimzia, I was put on it because they were hoping, they were doing trials and stuff for Crohn's, and they knew it would help my, well, they would hope that it would help my arthritis. They know with Stelara you can be funded for it now for Crohn's, so it definitely works. So hopefully it will sort of tackle both, which will be good. Not having to worry about either for a little while, hopefully.
Yeah.
So what tips do you have then, Natalie, for if you go into Christmas parties? What tips would you say that if you've got a stone when you go into a Christmas party? My top tip is Diorolite.
Good one.
Before going on, I don't really drink at home. If I go to sort of my mum's for Sunday dinner, or sometimes have a glass of wine, but I'm often driving as well, so I don't even have a little bit when I'm driving. I choose not to at all. But if I'm going out, I tend to go all out. So
put it away, shall we say. But what I do is I'll have, before I go out, a glass when I get home, and as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'll have another glass, just to help out with hydration, and it stops you getting quite as bad of a hangover as well, which is handy. But obviously, it's for medical purposes. My ileostomy. But yeah, that's. Hello,
Hello, we can still
hear you.
Oh, that's all right. My computer went all black. I was like, oh. Yeah, so that's probably my top tip for that. I can't drink red wine. I know that mucks up I'm not a massive fan anyway, but it mucks up my belly really badly. So I tend to stick to gin and tonic. Things like vodka, I know, are pretty clean for the gut.
You also are a bit partial to white wine.
And a bit of white wine. Yeah, and a few shots. But no, you will need to empty your bag more. Always take out extra supplies, because I've had quite a few leaks, because it tends to be the gas. Obviously, if you're having things like tonic or things with Coke or whatever, it's the gas that gets me, and I end up getting a bit unstuck. Putting the flange extenders around is always a good idea before you go out.
I also think loperamide
and loperamide, yeah, which I never used until a few weeks ago when I met a surgeon.
Is that the
actually
thickener?
To talk about
Yeah.
I'd never used it, and he was like, well, why don't you try using it at night time and things, so you're not getting up so much? And I was like, oh, I'd never thought of that. And actually it's really good. And he said if you're going out for the day or you're going out for an evening and want to slow it down, he said just take them. He said there's no really, as long as you don't take too many and end up going the other way. They're quite handy.
I've never thought about using them, I think I was prescribed them once.
Because Steve's prescribed them, because he has high output, it was sort of something that stuck in my head that your doctor would tell you if you needed them.
And it actually slows down output.
It's slow,
yeah. If you have it half an hour,
but yeah,
you have it half an hour before your food, or before you eat something, it slows everything down and it thickens it up, which means it's not coming out as often. I'm prescribed it, and I had to fight to be allowed to have it when I was pregnant, because it's one of them that they've never done tests, so they don't know if it's okay yet. It's a bit daft.
They've never allowed me not since I had the C. diff. They won't allow me to have it. I'm not, because they're worried that because I still carry C. diff in my body, even though it still comes back as clear, it's still in my body, so it can come back and reinfect me all over again. That they worry that if I slow it down and take loperamide, then it will make everything compact, and then I'll get C. diff again. So I'm not allowed. Just big notes on my notes not to have it. Because I thought about I would love to have it because my output's high.
Yeah, I don't really struggle.
Well, then could you not use the
because
could you not use the gelling agents?
Do you know what? I've never tried it. I've never thought, because it's realizing with like every bag Steve empties, I probably empty 3 to his 1, and it's only when you're with another ostomate you really realize actually how high output you have, because you just think it's normal, don't you? Until you're sort of with somebody else.
So like the little bags that you put in the bag to thicken up output. Would they work? Would they work with a urostomy?
Sorry, say that again. Graham just messaged me then. Say that again.
What they call, the sachets that thicken up output. They wouldn't work with the urostomy.
Why would you want to put it in a urostomy?
Jelly
That's the question.
You know, I might try that one. Might try that one.
My other tip, I have another one, is my Tasman Facey underwear. Because whenever I'm going out and wearing a dress or something that's maybe a little bit tighter or just different, my high-waisted underwear is like a must-have, just to smooth it all out. You can't see my bag. And obviously, because it is so pretty, I still feel really glamorous, and
it makes you feel sexy. Jasmine's clothes make you feel sexy, don't they?
Yeah.
And like if you wear, like, I like wearing suspenders. Sorry, Mum. And stuff like when I go out, it's just like something that makes me feel nice, and like I have a bag but I still can feel sexy. But just quickly say, Graham's just messaged to say that he takes 12 a day.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm only allowed to take 8. I'm only prescribed 8.
I'm gonna ask for some of them then, because I've learned something today.
Well, you know, what's the one? Imodium. It's just a stronger Imodium.
And there's no adverse reactions. There's nothing.
No, apart from learning how I take 2 at a time. So if I'm going to bed, I'll take them with my bedtime meds, because I'll often sit in bed and I eat a few sweeties or whatever. So I take them just before doing that, and then it means I can go for long, like sleep for longer. I'm not getting up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's pretty good, days.
I would say just most people can take it, but I would just check just in case some people can't, because I know, like with me, I can't, and I think with certain neurological conditions that there's an argument whether you can. I think maybe it's a really good idea, and I think if you're okay to take it, that's fine. But also maybe to check as well.
Yeah, a bit of trial and error involved as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and like you said, it's just not it's not taking too much, because sometimes it can bung up. But in hospital, you know, I hear them. They say other patients that have got high output, they say to use it. The surgeons like talking about loperamide. I think the cost of it is quite cheap compared to other drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have them and you run out, or you want to try it before you ask them on prescription, you can always just get like the Tesco's or own brand.
There's and all sorts of cheap places. Yeah, you only get like 6 in a packet. You don't get very many.
Graham's just said. Sorry, I was on the thing. Graham said loperamide melts work better.
Yeah,
they taste horrible.
The only thing is they work better, but they cost more.
Oh,
so if you get away with using the capsules, obviously, I'm in to saving the NHS money as much as I can, even though I have to take all these medications which cost a lot. But they do work better. But it's just if you, I know Graham has similar problems, I think, to Steve.
Right.
Syndrome and all that. So he goes on the melts, although it just depends. His chemist can be a bit up and down with what they prescribe.
Yeah, he did.
I think if I'm out and about, sorry, Rachel.
No, it's okay, carry on. Sorry.
I think if I'm like out and about and I don't have loperamide with me, I'll buy something like the Imodium melts, which, I mean, they are ridiculously expensive in my opinion. Whereas I could just get some of like the store's own brand, but the melts do work quicker, but they just taste foul. Even the ones that are supposed to be like minty, they taste disgusting.
Well, Graham said that he was on it for a month, and then his GP said that he had to go back to capsules. But one of our other followers is Steve Cook, and he just said that he takes up to 32 a day, but have been told that after 20, no real extra effect. So limit it to 5 hour before meal. However, Steve does have a duostomy, so his output it will be even worse than ours. So it's like, again, you know,
Steve has similar problems to Steve, isn't it? Because he has the duostomy. Although Steve is out, but yeah. And because Steve was saying if we could cover duostomies, one kind of because one sort of thing, because they do lack awareness sometimes. They're not mentioned as much as others, as ileostomy. Colostomy. Maybe we could cover that one. And I didn't realise until I spoke to Steve, I didn't realise you could have a jejunostomy that was an output as well. Obviously, Steve has it.
I've only learnt about that ostomy over the last few weeks, to be fair. I'd never heard of it. So just, you know, and I like to think of myself as knowing a fair bit about ostomies. So, you know, it's not really that well known, is it?
Well, Steve had trouble with lots of leaks and very, very, very extreme high output, and lots of leaks of finding pouches and losing weight as well, because Steve has other health issues going on. and losing the weight, I think it can change the shape. But yeah, there was a survey circulating today that included duodestomies, which is the first time I've seen them included.
They're obviously getting more popular, I think, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
I know when he had surgery for his, I think there was only a certain amount, and Leeds is quite a big centre. He's obviously been referred from his local hospital to go to Leeds, so they're quite up on their gastro. But
they are they're one of the best gastro hospitals, because that's where I got sent when I was paediatric.
Funnily enough, he actually got offered Leeds, Derby, and obviously didn't know me at the time, didn't know anything about Derby, so chose Leeds because it was closer to where he lives. But
well, that would have been a lot easier if it's Derby, wouldn't it? Like, you wouldn't be travelling so much.
He phoned me at the time, but he's got a really good doctor. So
something else to think about is because some of the companies like closed down over Christmas. You'll have a last deadline to get your stoma supplies for Christmas. Now, I've actually done a post on that today.
I almost did a double order at the start of December. I think last year I almost did like a double order to get me right through December and well into January before I needed to order again.
I mean, I found I just needed really to add an extra box because they are only closed for like 2 weeks, except Respond. Respond are actually the only ones that are open the whole way through. Look at Rachel sat there smug like, I use Respond.
Yeah, my
they're literally only closed on the bank holidays. They're open throughout that. And Natalie, when you come to see me in the next couple of weeks, you bring me McDonald's. Or we're going to go drive to one, because this is not fair.
Sorry, can I just show you this? They do chocolate orange McFlurries.
Oh man, we can't even see.
It's so
your screen's doing the trick that Steve's does, where it just shoots to the side rather than your face.
Oh, isn't it?
Natalie, the double ordering. Like a few people, because I've done this post about their prescriptions. A few people have said that they've just with a double ordering, you may get questioned about it because they are starting to. Sometimes some places it's fine, it's not a problem, but I know some people have been worried about Christmas, or they have tried to double order and haven't been able to. But it's a really good point. Definitely, that's a really good read, because this is a good point for Christmas.
Because I only did the big ones I could think of. So if anyone has a different company than the ones I've covered, I do apologise, and you'll have to find out for yourself. Because there are so bloody many, and they're so hard to differentiate. We covered this a couple of months ago, and it's just mind blowing. But
I still see people pop up, and they're like, "I use such and such." I'm like, "Oh."
Bullen is the 14th of December if it's medication and supplies. Otherwise, it's the 18th. Yeah, urgent supplies. Bullen, and urgent supplies with Bullen is the 21st.
They advise me to do 2 months worth, or they certainly overstocked me anyway last year, because Bullen are like a family company, aren't they? And I think they do just total shutdown.
Because Charter and Securicare both closed down on the 8th. Their last order, is the 8th of December.
Is it really? Well, I'll have to bear that in mind.
Steffi, that's a really good post. Then I assumed you were right.
Yeah, it'll have only automatically shared on my Twitter. I've been paper macheing. I haven't shared it manually on stuff.
I got an email.
I'm still waiting for Natalie's self-care thing to come out. Otherwise, I can't post anything on Instagram.
I've got it ready. Well, I've got the things ready. I just need to get it out. I'll do it after the show.
Thank you.
One thing that when I go out, and I say I go out on a party or a meal, or I go out into a restaurant or somewhere, I'm really, really I'll get very anxious, empty my bag, and smells. And I think it's take VIP or Ostomy or anything like that. I think I'll just find it's nicer. When I forget, I'll get really worried about just today. Today I went into Odeon, used the disabled toilet, which I hardly ever do, but I used the disabled toilet because I didn't want to go up the stairs. And the phane had broke, and I went, oh my God, I emptied both bags. I thought, oh fuck, so I got loads of tissue and put that in. And then I just went to the lady and said, the handle's broken. I said, oh, it was out of order. It was supposed to be a sign. I thought, well, there wasn't. So I think it's just maybe like take that with you, because if you are having a meal as well, the food's quite rich, it'll be quite strong. I'm sorry, I'm getting really bad cramps, so I might have to come back in a minute.
Bless you.
We use the drops. Use the drops in your bags. You know, them a big help as well. That's if you can get them on your order.
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't cost that much in reality for how long they last. And I know I say that while I'm on maternity for the next, I think I've got like 2 months left. I've got some on order, just one bottle. And then when I'm working again, I'll go back to buying them, because for how long they last, I think they are worth the price. Whereas I'm not prepared to pay for like the other ones that are sprays, because they don't work for me properly. And I found out that one of the brands kills like fish and stuff and marine life, so that's just a no-go now.
That's the one that I use, and that's me. Question. Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's been noisy. I've locked him out in the hallway in the kitchen. He's not allowed in the front room while I'm doing this, but now he's barking at me.
Oh, bless him. But you know, that's something else to think of. Like, obviously over Christmas you go to people's houses, and like I'm going to stay at my father-in-law and his wife, and like they all know about my stoma, all of them. His wife's sister used to deliver stoma bags in Cornwall, so like they're all very aware, and they're all very like proud and stuff of me and what I'm doing. So none of them would say anything, but it's still very much for a case of, I don't want anything to smell, I don't want to have a leak, I don't want to even have a bulge, I don't want to this, like. But I know it doesn't matter.
From Bullen, as one of their complimentary items is the bed sheets, and I don't use them at home because we've got like a waterproof mattress cover thing on the bed. But I think they sent me 2 packs when I first started using them, and I've still not used them all up, but I do take them away with me. So like if I'm staying in a hotel, mum's, which I will be for Christmas and things like that, I'll take them to put on the bed just so I feel like more confident in case I have a leak at night.
I try and do that. And the one time I didn't,
mind, isn't it?
I was with Natalie and I had a leak.
I know. I know, yeah. I didn't take mine that day either. I totally just didn't think about it.
It's sheer panic if you haven't got your equipment and your base plate starts to come away. And it's kind of like, you know, what do I do next? You know, it's just going to get worse, isn't it? It's really preparation, isn't it? It's all about preparation.
Oh,
I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the
You're
thing is,
my mind, Steve.
But sometimes, like we discovered this in the pelican thing, that I'm a bit fickle, and like when I go out, if my stoma stuff won't fit in my bag, I won't take my stoma stuff with me. Bearing in mind I have lots of leaks because of my prolapse, I won't take it with me, and then I end up having a leak. Then I have to go back early because I'm being shallow. So it's like, but now I have learned my lesson, and I do try and take a bigger bag now to fit it in. But I think taking supplies with you is important, because like, if you have a leak, you don't want to. At times, I have just suffered and just contained it in my support wear and continued being out. But I think it is about preparing, making sure you've got your stuff with you, and like Steffi said, as Dee said,
you feel bad enough when you have a leak anyway. But if you then have to leave what you're doing, it makes it even worse. Even though at the time you feel like leaving, within half an hour of cleaning yourself up, putting a new bag on, or whatever you've got to do, you're back to enjoying yourself. Whereas if you have to go home, you feel well on it all night then.
Yeah,
that's very true. So what were the things that people have said online about that they like to avoid? Things like shots. What was it?
Oh, really?
With me, it's like it's your fizzy alcohol, like your lagers, and that tend to sort of ease up on them a bit because of ballooning, just full of gas. Louise was on about shots and stuff.
When she says
I know
shots, I think of glitter
find
shot,
out.
glitter shot.
Yeah.
I still not got to try them out.
I know. I mean, because
No.
Purple Wings Ball last year, and
I
didn't get any.
I don't drink, and like I would love to, but it's just not worth me drinking. I would.
You can get Prosecco glitter.
Can
Yes.
you?
You just put that in some fruit juice.
Yeah, my friend added me on a group of that Prosecco glitter thing. I think because she knows that I want to try it in my bag. But you could add that whatever you wanted to. It doesn't
like
have
a
to.
snow globe, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No lapamide though.
I do think people have said like that they're worried about food, and my biggest tip for food over Christmas is try little things before Christmas and the lead up to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew I could have shredded Brussels sprouts. I already knew I could have braised cabbage. I already, like everything that I cooked, which was the only time I've ever had a Sunday dinner / roast dinner that's all come out at the same time and all still warm. Like, I had to say that I was so proud of that. I'm still so proud of that because it'll never happen again. Like I knew that everything on that table I could eat, and I knew how much of it I could eat and not worry about causing any issues. Because like I know Natalie can't have sprouts and things like that, but she can eat mushrooms till the cows come home.
Ostomy proofing my burger, taking all the lettuce out.
I just asked for it without lettuce.
Well, I was in a rush, and I always worry at McDonald's that they're going to spit in your burger if you start being fatty. So I just prefer to take it out myself.
Oh, you're definitely getting your burger spat in now.
I'm finding that at the moment because I don't know why I'm having such a dip. Like yesterday, I wasn't good, Steve. Was I? After I ate, my stomach.
Yeah, you was in agony, weren't you?
Yeah, and I've not had this for ages, and I don't know why I'm so struggling at the moment.
I think you hardly ate anything as well. It wasn't a big meal, was it?
No, I know, and this, so I don't know if because something's going on in my large bowel. I'm not sure, but so Christmas, I'm just going to take it really easy. I'm not gonna. Normally, I like a bit of a rebel, but I'm just going to take it easy because it seems to be like I had a tiny bit, 2 spoons of bolognese. That's all, and I'm in agony now. So I think I just need to maybe just go back to basics a bit. But Steve has messaged me, and I just quickly. So he said, I found sometimes when you realise you've left your stomach gear behind, it makes you feel more confident, that you feel you can rely on that time, feeling that everything is under control. Not saying you don't panic for a bit, but just calm down and say you will be all right.
I would more than likely panic a bit more if I know that I've left my stuff behind. Even if I was just popping to the pub, I would literally put a cut bag in my back pocket, a black bag, and a few dry wipes, and that'd be it. But I know that it's there.
I remember when I first left the hospital, I had a big bag, and I would have like complete changes of not just my bag stuff, but I'd have like an outfit change because I thought if it leaks and it gets on my clothes, even to do silly things like the school run where I'd be at the house for like half an hour, 40 minutes, I'd take all this stuff with me in a big bag. And I think the moment you get to a point where you don't have to take everything with you is a confident moment. Like Steve said, you know that you've got just your bag, your wipes, and a bin bag to put it in.
Yeah, a lot of that would come down to your confidence in the bag as well. And,
yeah,
and how, you know what I mean?
You get to know.
In the car, I have all of it.
In the car, I normally leave a thing in the car. But it's worked out well. Me and Steve use the same bags, so one kit does all. We just chuck a few bags on that in, and I think I have enough in my spares bag to do 3 changes.
I've got a message from Graham that I've only just seen. Sorry, Graham.
Is that the same one that I've just been smiling at? Is that the same
one? No. When I used to work and I went to Christmas works parties, it was the only time I let my hair down and I drank lots, and I regretted it the next day as the storm would work loads. And you know, it probably does because it's all the like trapped gas and stuff. I always find like I live on fizzy pops, so it's probably why I keep putting weight on it doesn't. So my bag's always like full of gas, so it doesn't really bother me. But the minute I have alcohol, like lager, cider, that's it. I just feel like it's going to go forever the next day. And if you do drink red wine, and it's your first time having like a proper drink or whatever, it will turn it purple. I learnt this after going on halved on 6 bottles of red wine with my other mother-in-law in August. It turns it purple, like really purple.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to drink again?
No.
Experiment.
No, you do too well.
Like all the phone calls, I'll be like, I'm not a good look when I drink. I don't. But Graham said, to just add to what Steffi said, that he said that like when he drank the lager, he said he got bladdered, pardon the pun. And when I got home, I knocked the Christmas tree, then vomited in the living room. I was ill. My poor mum had to sit up with me all night to keep me empty my bag. Never done it since, lol. That's what was making me giggle.
Oh.
I find with
We've all done it. We've all
alcohol
done it
now,
once.
especially beers and lagers, I find it quite. It takes ages to get to a level where I'm drunk. I'd have to hit the spirits.
I can drink a lot more with my ostomy.
Yeah, same here. Someone at work had said so about, because I eat a lot of hot food, a lot of hot curries. I mean, super hot with the chilies. And they're saying, so you don't actually get a ring sting no more. They do. You don't, no, obviously not. It's just fantastic.
Well, one of the registrars, he turned around to me and he was like, he's like, because like we're friends. He was like, oh, I couldn't cook for you, and I was like, what do you mean you couldn't cook for me? He's like, oh, well, I like my curry's quite hot, and I'm like, you are aware it is completely fine for me to have like hot spicy food, and he's like, I wouldn't have thought so with your stomach. And I'm like, well, you don't have one, do you? You don't. It's fine. It's whether you can take it in your mouth anyway, because like some people really struggle with heat in the mouth, don't they, rather than the digestive tract.
That's all the bomb is, really, isn't it? It's another opening, and obviously that's where the sting would be, because we don't have a working bottom as such.
Because there's no nerves.
It's not going to be a problem coming out of the stoma.
Would there be no nerves?
Something interesting I have, like if I have an Indian, fine, don't see a difference. If I have a Chinese, oh my God, the output's ridiculous, like ridiculous. So I stay away from Chinese. Indians not too bad.
What do you normally have at Chinese?
Well, noodles. Sometimes I have, I have noodles and things like that. But I'm finding noodles, I don't know if I've got a gluten thing or noodles, I get very bloated, and I have a lot of the side orders with it. Like starters.
Are you having a lot of vegetables with it?
I was going to say Chinese is more vegetables, isn't it? And
I think Chinese veg can be an issue.
Yeah,
I'm quite lucky that my Chinese, I know what they have in it, so I can ask for certain things to be picked up. But I always say no onions. But like the fried rice is spring onions and peas, and I'm fine with that. Even though spring onions usually repeat on me, apparently in Chinese they don't. So maybe it's just raw.
There's lots of MSGs in Chinese, isn't there? A lot of people struggle with the MSG.
What's that?
It's monosodium glutamate.
Is that what makes you so, when you wake up and you feel like your throat is like really dry and you just want to drink down loads of water?
It's kind of like makes you gluggy.
I'm not a fan of Chinese.
KFC, don't they? In the coating they put it in the coating of KFC chicken.
Oh, really?
Like the thing, they put it in and it makes it, whatever you're making, taste nice.
Yeah, it does.
There's a lot of like controversy over things like that, wasn't there, a few years ago? And I think there still is. But before, I know we've got like 10 minutes left, but before we overrun, I'm going to say what we're doing next week. Jasmine has assured me that she will be on next week. She's not at work. So we should be having Jasmine. Jasmine Stacey, if people haven't clicked who that is. on next week, and we're going to be talking about what like gifts for Christmas. It doesn't have to be like gifts for a crony or gifts for an ostomy, because like we're still people, aren't we? At the end of the day, it could be stuff to do with self-care.
My dog.
And
But I can't say the thing. He's just put his head in my McDonald's bag. I've put it down by the side of my desk. It's empty. He's just put his head in it and got it stuck.
Jasmine's new collection is beautiful. Like, it is stunning. You know,
I've seen it in person, and I've touched it, and it's all the emerald and blue lace. They're so soft. They're the softest things ever. I would have presumed you'd have ordered the blue, but you've got the green, haven't you?
I got turquoise as well, Natalie. Yeah.
Well, I did a poll thing, and so many people said blue, but I was like, no. I went for the emerald.
Yeah, me too.
I'd have gone for the emerald. Although the blue is absolutely gorgeous in real life.
Lovely as well. But
I'm looking forward to. I quite like the floral, because that's an everyday one. The teddy is quite nice. That's like it's kind of like a baby doll, but it's not a baby doll. So and I've obviously seen like all the swimwear, and because I'm special.
Next week, I want to ask her about her Steve likes her knickers. That sounds so dodgy. But I want to see if she just does like knickers, like you can buy knickers on their own, or like a few knickers or something. Because I've only got one, the see-through knickers.
You can buy knickers.
I just bought the knickers.
Themselves.
I don't get on with bras from everywhere, and I have got a couple of Jasmine Stacey bras, but I just ordered the underwear this time, the knickers.
Knickers.
I like having the set. So
yeah, I've got
a
couple of the sets. But
What did you say then?
get off! This part. He's clearly got the McDonald's bag off of his head and is now destroying it on the flooring floor.
When we still had our dog, he broke through the stair gate and went upstairs and annihilated all of like our stuff. He pulled Stephen's like bedside shelf off the wall, and like bit into a can of hairspray. And so yeah, I know how destructive dogs can be. And he was a Newfoundland as well.
Luckily,
he pulled loads of stuff of Lyra into another room, but he didn't chew any of her stuff. He just annihilated our stuff.
Oh,
Floppy dickhead.
You love him, really.
I do. I miss him every day.
Oh.
But
it's a good job I'm already hoovering tomorrow. I brought him a new toy yesterday, which he destroyed in a matter of about half an hour. So I've got a hoover anyway. Now there'll be a McDonald's bag.
What are you looking forward to the most this Christmas, Steve?
What am I looking forward to? Time off work, seeing my lovely lady. I'm not sure, you know. I don't know, just a bit of a relax. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's going to be a nice Christmas this year. Say again.
It's like that when you work, isn't it? It's just time to relax and see more family.
It is. It's completely. It's kind of like a different one for me this year. Without going into much.
Because you've got a beautiful girlfriend.
It is.
No.
Right, but there's other factors as well that are changed.
We still don't know what we're doing because of certain factors.
Yes, we shall sort it out.
I'm looking forward to my last ever Christmas on maternity since I'm sterilised.
Oh,
wow.
So this is my last one, and I've worked, other than being on maternity, in 1 year where I didn't work. on another year where I was on bank, I've always worked Christmas since I was like 20. I used to do 14-hour days in care in people's homes, and when I was with my ex, we used to go out Christmas Eve, and that was such a stupid idea because I always try and match everyone else, and they were drinking like 16 pints, and I'd be mottled and like crawling along the floor drunk at my mum's because I couldn't make it to my house, and being sick everywhere, and then going to work and coming back and then having to clean it up after my brother was taking the mick out of me. So I'm glad I don't have that anymore. I'm just looking forward to getting a job that I can not deal with Christmas. I can just have Christmas off.
Oh, that'd be nice.
What about you, Rach? What are you looking forward to Christmas?
I struggle with Christmas. You know, I don't. I go through stages where I'm really feeling the not having kids at the moment, and I struggle with Christmas. And it's like I just need, like, the girls and Steve are trying to convince me to get a Christmas tree because last year I didn't have one. My dad said he would make me a wooden Christmas tree, and I think for next year he will. But I've always struggled with Christmas, although I do like the Christmas lights. I like going around in the cars and seeing all the Christmas lights. So, and it's nice coming up to Steve, but to me, I'm not a Christian. I'm not religious. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. For me, it feels like what I don't have. I don't really know. It's like birthdays. I don't really celebrate my birthday anymore. It's just another day. But I used to feel very Christmassy when I was younger, but it's sort of since I've got ill, it's changed, and it's just it's being around loved ones. But the last 2 years, when I kind of stopped with my medication, I've seemed to kind of I don't get too worried about it, whereas before I used to get worried about it, and I don't know, it's a bit strange.
What about you, Nat?
This year, because obviously I've not got the boys all the time. So out of hospital, that would be a massive help. It would be nice. We get to spend time with Layla this year. We don't get to spend Christmas Day together because I've got the boys and he's got Layla. So with travel and stuff like that, we're gonna have to spend Christmas apart. But I'm gonna go to my mum's, have the boys there, and then they'll be picked up by the day quite early on Boxing Day morning. So I'm gonna drive up and get to spend some time with Steve and Layla then on Boxing Day before she goes back to her mum's. I just like everything about Christmas. I love the run up to it and decorating and Christmas music, and like I say, this year's not having the boys. It's going to be quite hard because normally we'd be just doing Christmassy stuff every day, and yeah, I don't know how it's going to be. Christmas plays and Christmas fairs, and used to do all that sort of stuff. So,
but Natalie, you've done amazing. The whole transition. You know, you've had other stuff as well, and you've done amazing. Like you've just continued to keep going, and it's like you've never lost sight of them. Of the boys, but you're also working on yourself, and I think that's, you know, you should pat yourself at the back. That Natalie, you've done amazing. You really have.
Definitely.
I have got a post actually. I wrote it the other day, and Steve's ringing me. I'm not quite sure. I'll talk to him in a minute. I think while I've not got them, and obviously it may be time, it's really hard to explain everything, but I have put a lot more in the post that I'm going to probably put up next week, just updating everybody on what's going on. I've not gone directly to court to get them back. Be any good for me or them, or do any good in the long run, because they may well just come up with the same reasons for keeping it as it is, if that makes sense.
An outcome. Yeah.
So I've decided I need to take the time to work. Obviously, I've started my uni again. And I'm trying to work on things that will hopefully make them see that I didn't waste this time when I've not been looking after them. I've used it effectively. And hopefully do more with my blog and all that sort of stuff. So
that's really good, because I think it's you know, I have a lot of friends in a support network I have that have lost their children, and I think that's how that what I've noticed is it's about action. Sometimes it's not about going straight back to court, it's about working on yourself and then proving, okay, I've done this, and that sometimes that speaks louder than just going back to court when you haven't actually done very much. So
a retaliatory thing, and the kids are unsettled enough as it is, so but I also feel it's a really hard thing to say that out loud, because people think, oh, she's not fighting for them, and oh, she's not going straight, and that's been really hard to sort of say out loud what I'm trying to do, because
but it's still their best interests at heart, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And you can't look after them if you're not looked after as well.
Exactly.
I've been in a big arthritis flare, so.
And as well as, like, I don't, you know, it's awful what happened, but where I say everything happens for a reason. There was a reason why this is happening, whether it's that you're in a better place eventually or whatever. At the time, we think that it's dire and it's the worst thing that can happen, but there's always something better around the corner. It may take a while. It's just being patient and seeing what, and it to me is, you know, you're doing your course now, so you're doing loads of self-help stuff. You're working on yourself, and you're trying to, and you know how you're feeling at the moment. It's like maybe you need a bit of time, you know, to kind of find you again and work on, you know, that stuff. No, you're doing great. Don't worry what other people judge you. They're not going through it.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, well, we're a couple of minutes over, so hopefully Louise is on the other side to click off, because I don't have access to that tonight. So we will hopefully see you next week when we have Jasmine, Stacey, and we will talk about Christmas gifts. So thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.